Hi, we're Ariel,
And Michelle,
and
we're
we're
the
the Board
Board
Game
Game Tutors.
Tutors.
Today we're doing our first Just the Basics video for the card game Famiglia.
Let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see here, here's a few cards that come from this two-player card game by Friedemann Friese. The overall goal that you want to achieve while playing this game is you're trying to collect the most illustrious assortment of gangsters for your particular half of the game, your particular side. And the way you achieve that is by getting the gangsters that have the most victory points and have the highest total of victory points at the end of the game. So the way that you're going to achieve that is this. So here, just start out with a little bit of what the different things on the cards mean. So you see here it says ID number, it has the person's name, and it has this number in the middle. This number does not play into the actual gameplay mechanics of the game. It tells you what the total of victory points this character is worth at the end of the game. So the only thing you need to know is he is worth 1 victory point at the end of the game. You can discard the rest of it as unimportant information. And up here, so here you'll see this tells you it's a yellow 1, and underneath is a bat. This tells you essentially, if you're familiar with any regular game of cards, the 1 is essentially the number on a regular deck of cards, and then this is the suit. So the bat means it's part of the brutes. And also the fact that it's a yellow 1 also tells you it's a brute. This here is a special ability, which we will cover in our next video. So we won't talk about that right now. So here, as you can see, this person is worth 1 victory point at the end of the game, and he is a yellow 1, which is a level 1 brute. Over here, the cards, these numbers up here are what matter the most for gameplay. So cards can range from down here, you can see these cards are yellow 0s, which are the lowest card in the game, the lowest thug that you can have in your gangster group. And then the highest card can be a 4. So the numbers on the top left and right corners range from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as you get higher, there are fewer and fewer cards. There's only 1 4 of each particular group in the game. And there's 2 3s, and as you go farther, there's more of each individual card. So, in order to recruit these cards over here, because Fats Monroe here, he is worth 10 points, so obviously you want to get as many of the high cards as you possibly can. You'll need to try and get these cards by using these top numbers and using the game mechanics. So in order to get a higher level card, because at the beginning of the game, you're going to start with a bunch of 0s, so basically a bunch of useless thugs, but they will help you acquire the better cards. Because the way you acquire better cards is, in order to get this level 1 brute, you will need to have 2 of the type of card that is immediately beneath this card. So in order to get this level 1, what's below 1? A 0. So what you need to have in your hand would be 2 yellow 0s, and this would help you, using the gameplay mechanics, to obtain this level 1 brute. So that's that. So something else we also want to touch on briefly before we go on to the next video is the fact that there are 4 different families in this game. They're basically different factions. You can think of them as the 4 different suits in a regular game of cards, spades, clubs, hearts, and diamonds, for example. And you can tell it's very easy to distinguish. These come from different families because the colors are different and the symbols beneath the numbers are also different. So as you can see here, this is a yellow brute. Like I said, this is the first suit, essentially. Brute cards are pretty helpful for you in general. 0s are useless, like I said, because they're really, really basic thugs. But in the brute family, their cards are helpful to you, as I'll explain more later, because they can help make it easier for you to grab the harder cards, like this level 4. So brutes help you reduce things so that way you can grab them a lot easier. This one is a green 0, which is a mercenary. You could tell because there's a lot of cash there. That means they're essentially wilds, not the zeros, because like I said, they're basic thugs. But the higher level mercenaries, 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, they act as wild cards. So when you're trying to obtain people to get the next highest level, they can substitute in for other cards. And here, this is a blue uh, 0 here. It's an accountant, part of the accountant family. Uh, these guys, they're a little bit confusing. We'll go into them more in our next video when we discuss the powers of each family. And lastly, we have a red 0. It has a little rose here. And sorry, that one was a phone, cell phone. If you couldn't tell, this red 0, he is a member of, ironically, the Famiglia family. And as you can see here, the main power that Famiglia family members have are the fact that they give you more victory points than every other family faction in the game. So if you look here on all these zeros, this has 0 victory points. So in general, zeros are pretty much useless except to get other higher cards. This also has a 0 victory point total. This also has a 0 victory point total. But this red 0 has 1 victory point. So, as you can tell, even getting red zeros can help you get a few victory points at the end of the game. So, on our next video, we're going to be going over these 4 factions, how their powers work, and basically going a little more in depth in terms of how the gameplay mechanics works. We obviously just barely touched on the surface of how gameplay works in this game. The main thing you need to remember is the fact that in order to get a level 1, you need to have 2 zeros to get a level 1, and it increases. To get a level 2, you'll have to have 2 1s. To get level 3, you have to have 2 2s. To get level 4, you have to have the 2 3s.
And you always need to have the color of the thing that you're getting. So, like 2 yellow zeros to get a yellow 1.
Right. For example, 2 yellow zeros could not grab a green 1, etc. Yeah, the colors have to match, and you have to have the 2 cards of the level immediately below. Right?
All
So
right.
if you guys have any questions, clarifications, please let us know and leave us a comment on here or on Board Game Geek. Please subscribe to this channel if you found this video interesting. And yeah, we're going to continue in the next video going over each of the individual families of the game Famiglia.
All right. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.